Hello everyone, this is going to be day 9, Rocko's Modern Christmas. Bing, 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 bing. Rocko's Modern Christmas. Rocko's Modern Christmas. Bing, 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 bing. So Rocko is hoping that it will snow, and there's a cloud above his house that is like trying. The cloud is alive, and it's trying to snow, and it's making like poop jokes, I guess. He's daydreaming about him in a sleigh, and Spunky's pulling the sleigh, and he has presents. He's not dressed up as Santa. He's just handing out presents to Filbert, Helper, and the big heads. Spunky wouldn't be able to pull Rocko. I don't think so. Spunky's not that strong. He's a little mutt. Look at him. Anyway, he's basically like, Spunky, you know what will be great? Let's have an old-fashioned Christmas party, and we'll invite Heifer and Filbert. Just Heifer and Filbert. Turns out, he calls Heifer, and Heifer's basically telling his parents, hey, I'm going over to Rocko's for a party. And his dad's like, party? Forget this. Because they're decorating their house and stuff. And it's like, if you're going to a party, why bother decorating your house? Because, you're going to get to see a bunch of stuff, have so much fun. He calls Filbert, and Filbert tells Dr. Hutchison, who he's on the other line with, who he's in a relationship with, hey, you want to go to Rocko's party? Rocko didn't say, hey, Filbert, can you come to my party? +1, Or is the +1 always implied? Heifer's bringing plus, let's see, he's got brother, sister, mom, grandpa, dad, 5. So, I guess Filbert can go ahead and bring Dr. Hutchison. Oh, but Dr. Hutchison calls someone else and tells them, and then they tell someone, and then pretty soon the whole town is like, hey, Rocko, what time's your party? He's like, I didn't invite all of you. Because that's what he does when he's nervous. He did that. Miss Bighead is sending out cards to people. Mr. Bighead's being Scrooge, basically like, what's that weirdo next door doing? Because that's what he always called Rocko. He's always calling Rocko a weirdo for some reason. Anyway, they look across the street. This is probably earlier in the episode. But they see a house go up, and it's elves. Elves are living across the road from Rocko, and Mr. Bighead doesn't like that because he doesn't like anything, apparently. I feel bad for Rocko. He invites a few people over for Thanksgiving, and the whole town shows up. He invites a few people over for Christmas, and the whole town is going to show up. What is it with Rocko's house? Does everyone just like Rocko's house? Because there was an episode he threw a barbecue, and everyone was there. He had a nudist party once. Maybe that's why people like him? I don't know. Rocko is such a party animal! Yeah! So Rocko sends out some invitations for his party that he's having tonight. Wait a minute. Are you really expecting to mail You gotta remember, this is like the 90s, so not many people had like internet and stuff, and there might not have been like a way to invite everyone to a party. You had to actually take a notebook or whatever, get some cards, and just, send them through the mail. Like physical mail, like literal, go to your front door or your driveway and open that thing and be like, oh, I got a letter. I just got a letter. I just got a letter. Okay. Anyway, seriously, mail service is not that fast. And unless you're like rush delivery and you're like doing this first thing in the morning, which it's not the first thing in the morning because there's been a ton of stuff that's happened, and I don't know how early Rocko gets up, but there's no way the invites are going out that early and in time for the party. What's the point of sending the invites anyway when the whole town knows what time, the whole town knows when the party is, what time it is, where it is, what time, and all that. They know all the info already. So what's the point of sending invitations out so people can RSVP? You're going shopping for the party right after you mail out the letters. No one's going to be able to RSVP you immediately. I don't know if it's the coffee or me getting so worked up, but I'm starting to sweat a little bit, y'all. So there's like an older elf and then there's a little tiny elf who are like the main characters we see for the elves. There's a whole bunch of other ones that are going to be revealed later, but the little elf is like stalking Rocko, and he gets to the mall. He's doing the shopping. He goes to buy a tree because apparently he didn't have a tree. And there's like weird trees. There's like two weird ones and one that's all like smiling like a dog, like like that. And of course he picks the normal looking one with the face, and they cut it down. Filbert and Heifer are running the tree stand, by the way. So it's like Filbert wasn't doing anything, and since Heifer was like, was this like a spur of the moment thing? Like, okay, we're not doing anything, so let's just open up a tree stand, because it looks like they only had one good tree and then they had like a bunch of crappy ones. If these are the 3 trees that they're offering to their best friend, I'd hate to see the rest of their backstop. I mean, it can't look good. It probably looks like a Charlie Brown tree. Speaking of which, is that what he sounds like? He shops for more supplies for the party, and the elf gets into a little bit of trouble at a shoe store. There's a bunch of gators, and they are making fun of the elf. They're picking on the elf, saying, hey, look at you. So anyway, Rocko saves the day and walks the pixie home. Now, at the mall, they didn't have a Santa Claus. You know what they had? Do you really want to know what they had? Fruitcake Man. It's Fruitcake Man! I wonder if that's anything like Powdered Toast Man. Fruitcake and powdered toast. Sounds like a good meal. Yummy, yummy. So Rocko meets all the elves, including one named Mango, which is weird because I think all the other names had names for tools. And they ran out of like tool names. I mean, seriously, you could make up like a wrench name, right? Anyway, he said there was one named Mitch that got lost in a blizzard that was like one of the best or whatever. Rocko invites them to the party, and the head elf is like, yeah, why not? Because he's like all dull and boring. And Mr. Bighead sees this, and he's like wanting to tell everyone and tell them, hey, elves are gonna be there, and elves are like contagious. It starts with Filbert, who's like all paranoid all the time anyway. So as soon as he sees Filbert, he's like, hey, you're going to Rocko's party, aren't you? And Filbert's like, yeah, what of it? I mean, that's what he should have said. I don't know how he said it, but he should have been like, yeah, what you go do about it, big head, huh? I mean, him and Heifer are ready to fight each other all the time. Maybe it's like a respect for elders thing, I don't know. But yeah. Anyway, he's like, well, don't you know that elves are gonna be there? And Filbert's like, yeah, and? Well, elves calls foot fungi. And Filbert breaks out, and he's like, I'm nauseous. Elves are gonna be there. Foot fungi. I don't want foot fungi. Oh no. And anyway, he starts telling people, and one of the characters that Dr. Hutchison had invited is a foot, and I forget the foot's name, and I wish I could remember, but he's like, foot fungi? Huh, I'm not going to that party. Technically, dude, you weren't invited by the host, so technically, you don't have any right to say you're not going because you were never really invited, and I doubt that the invitations got to you already. So we get to the party, and nobody showed up, and Rocko's surprised. Like, let's see. I sent out the invitations this afternoon. Why didn't anyone show up to the party? Surely Heifer and Filbert would have showed up. But Filbert is broken out in hives or whatever, and Heifer, I forgot what happened to Heifer. I think he got like tied up or something, literally, with one of the trees. But the reason Mr. Bighead did all this is because he wasn't invited to the party. Because, you know, nobody likes the big heads, apparently. And Bev, his wife, tells him, oh, it probably got lost in the mail, sweetheart. It didn't get lost in the mail. It didn't show up because he sent out the invitations the day of the party. Even in this day and age. Like, if I'm having a party tonight and it's like 12, I should not send out invitations because people are at work, people are doing stuff, and, you know, not everyone's going to read it. People might have plans. That's why you have to plan these things a week in advance. And why am I yelling at the cartoon again? I hate yelling at cartoons, but it's kind of fun because I get to watch cartoons and then yell about it and make YouTube videos and hopefully make people laugh. I don't know, am I making you laugh? Have you laughed? Okay, this is what, day 9? Have you laughed at anything I said in the past 9 days? Tell me down in the comments, up in the comments. I don't know, YouTube might make the video, you know, down here in the comments up here for some weird reason. I don't know, didn't they used to be on the side? I can't remember. I'm old. I was around when YouTube first started. I made a YouTube video in the first year. Anyway, a couple hours go by. Rocko's like, oh, this is stupid. Why am I waiting? Blah, 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 blah. And the little bitty elf shows up, and he's like, oh, well, if you're here, then, I'll tell you a Christmas story. It's a little late for a party, but I'll tell you a story. And that causes Rocko to fall asleep. So Rocko's asleep. The elf's like trying to use his magic on the cloud to make it snow. And after a couple attempts, it works. So the next day, everyone showed up. There's even police there. And they got the barricade off. They have it barricade off. Like, barricaded off or whatever. And Rocko wakes up. He's like, what in the blazes is going on? Everyone apologizes to Rocko. Rocko's like, hey, I still have all the food and stuff left on the table in the living room. And it's like, that stuff's bad by now, man. It's probably done spoiled, and anything cold is done ruined, man. Everyone starts coming in saying, hey, we're sorry, we didn't show up. And Ralph Bighead is there, but he looks like he's like 8 or something. He looks like a child. And that's weird because he's the creator of the Fatheads and Wacky Deli, and he's a big-time movie producer or TV show producer or whatever. So, yeah, it's just, I don't know, do toads just age quick or something? Maybe. Ed is being Ed. He's like, oh boy, everyone's at that party. No, I wasn't invited. And then Elf shows up, gives him an invitation. He's like, I was invited. And he has a change of heart. The elf hits him with a hammer. And he chases the elf. And it's like the stupidest thing. It's like, you made this guy happy, and then you go hit him with a hammer, and you're gonna make him mad again. Really? Come on, bro. And he goes over there, he gets wrapped up in something, and then he's like an upside down tree or something. And the episode pretty much ends with Rocko getting a call from his parents saying Merry Christmas. And he tried to call them the night before, and he couldn't get through. So, yeah. What causes Ed to get tangled up is, anyway, this is day 9, wrapping up, and I'm probably going to record the rest of them today. So, I'm sorry, no green screen for these episodes. But I will be working on new projects in 2022. Not saying this is the last Christmas video I'm doing, but well, obviously not this one. The last one I'm probably gonna do is Rugrats, because that was the first one that I remember seeing. So yeah, that will probably not be my last Christmas video that I do. I will probably make one more about some other Christmas specials, just talking about one big one and my favorite memories and blah blah blah. Anyway, you don't care. You want to get on with your life, and I know. I understand that. I want to get on with my life. I want to drink some more coffee, and I want to, hit these 3 other videos, be done. That way I can ensure that they are up in time like they're supposed to be, and I don't have to make you wait. Anyway, thank you for watching. Bye.